Hello everyone, my name is TEJAVATH Sadhana and I am going to give you a model which is an assignment given by Skyfi Labs. Now open the file, new file, and give the use and built in settings with display unit, steel code, concrete and etc. and click on OK. Now we have to give details of uniform grid spacing and story dimensions. So now change spacing grid direction in x direction and y direction as 6, and as we are building 23 story building, so we have to edit number of stories as 23. So now open custom data and now set story 8 as master story, and as well as story 14 as master story, and as well as story 19, and set all to similar along with them and click on OK. And again use only grid only option and next click on OK. Now we have to define some properties like material properties. So go to define and material properties, click on add new material and set a region as India and material type concrete, standard as India and grade as M40. Click on OK. Now and again click on OK. Now we have to add another new material which is for rebar reinforcements. So grade as HYSD grade 500 and again click on OK. Add new material and for confinement bars select mile grade 250. Click on OK. Now again click on OK. Now we have to define section properties. Go to frame sections and we have to add beams and columns. So click on add new property and select rectangular concrete. Now property name as beam 500 by 300 and select M40 grid material and give the dimensions depth and width and click on modify show rebar for reinforcement and longitudinal bars as HY. First click on beam and again give longitudinal bars as HYSD 500 and confinement bars as mile 250. And now change the cover spacing as 25 mm. Click on OK. Add the copy name as beam 550 by 350 and change the dimensions and again click on OK. Again add another property by naming beam as 600 by 400 depth. Click on OK. Now we have to add new property and select auto select list from special. Name the property as beam auto select list and section select design type as concrete and now select the beams and add to auto select list. Click on OK. Now we have to add column properties. So click on add new property, select concrete rectangular and now name it as column 500 by 500 as the dimensions of depth and width is 500 by 500 and material as M40 grade. Now reinforcement details for column as longitudinal bar HYSD 500 and confinement bars as mile 250. Now click on OK. Again click on OK. Now add copy of these properties. So name it as column 550 by 550 as depth and width is 550 by 550. Click on OK. And again add copy of property. Name them as column 600 by 600 and select section dimensions as 600 by depth and width of 600. Click on OK. add new property and select auto select list. Name it as column auto select and select design type as concrete and select the materials we have to add auto select list and click on OK. Click on OK. Now we have to define slab properties. Add new property and name it as slab 150. Select the material as M40 grade and change the thickness to 150 mm. Click on OK. Now we have to add these properties to our model. So go to Plan Story 1. Click on OK. Now we have to select Similar Stories option and now we have to add columns to that model. Now select column and change the property to column auto select. And add those columns to wherever required in the model. You can see that in the 3D view also. Now we have to add beam properties. So change the property to beam auto select. Add to the model. You can see in the 3D view tab also. Now we have to add slab. Click on slab shortcut key and select the property as slab 150 and add wherever it is required. And now go to Plan 9. Click on OK. And we have to add these properties like column, beam and slab to the story or model wherever it is required. Now we have to add beams. Before adding, we have to check once the property and the Similar Stories option also. Now go to Plan 15. Add column, beams and slabs. Now go to Plan 23 and click on OK. And add columns, beams, slabs to the model. Now we selected all those and assigned them to the model. Now we have to give loads to them. So now first go to Plan Story 1 and click on OK. Select All Stories option and now select all the shells. Make sure you are selecting only shells. So now after selecting that, go to Assign, click on Shell Loads and click on Uniform and give the load as 2 kilonewtons as the dead load is same to the overall structure. Click on OK. So you can see the load is applied to the structure. Now first you have to change all stories option to similar stories, and now select all the shells as you did it before. After selection of all these shells, go to Assign and click on Shell Loads, Uniform, and first change the load pattern from dead to live and give the load as 5 kN per meter square. Apply and OK. Now go to story 9, click on OK. Select all the shells. Go to Assign, Shell Loads with Uniform, and give the load as 4.5. Before applying, you must check the option should be selected as Replace Existing Loads. Click on OK. Now go to another story. Go to story 15. Click on OK. Select all the shells. Go to Assign. Click on Shell Loads, Uniform, and now give load as 4 kN per meter square. Click on Apply and click on OK. Now go to story 23 and click on OK. Select the shells and assign the load. Now you have to give load as 3.5 kN per meter square. Click on Apply and OK. So now after giving the live loads, we have to give the cladding loads. So cladding must be in the exterior beams. So we have to select all the exterior beams. After selection of those exterior beams, go to Assign and click on Frame Loads with Distributed and give the load as 0.2 kN per meter. Click on Apply and then click on OK. So now you can see that cladding load is applied. Now go to story 1, click on OK. Select all the exterior frames. Before selecting, you must select as similar stories option, and then you have to select all those exterior beams or frames and go to Assign, Frame Loads and Distributed. Give the load as 0.2 and click on Apply. Now go to story 9. Click on OK. Select all the exterior frames as you did earlier. While selecting, please check that you are selecting only frames, not any shells. You can observe that in the left bottom corner. After selecting all the frames, go to Assign. Click on Frame Loads, Distributed, and then same load has been given as you gave earlier, and now click on Apply and OK. Now go to plan of story 15. Select any story from 15 to 19 as those are similar to each other. So select all the exterior frames. After selecting all, do the same as you did earlier. Go to assign, click on frame loads, go to distributed, and now apply the load and click on OK. So now you gave dead load, live load as well as cladding loads. So first go to story 23 as there will be no load on the topmost roof. So select all the, before selecting you must select the single story option. So select all the exterior frames and go to assign, go to frame loads, distributed, and click on delete existing loads option. Click on apply and then click on OK. Now the cladding loads on the 23rd story has been removed. Now we have to apply wind load. So for that, go to define and load patterns. Give the load name as wind and type as wind and lateral load as IS 875. Add new load, modify lateral load, and as we are giving loads to coefficients for Bangalore, so the wind speed of Bangalore will be 33 and terrain category will be 3, as these all are you can get from the code book. Click on OK. So go to plan and select story 1. OK. Now click on elevation option and select section elevation A and click on OK. So before doing that, you must do cladding. So go to draw and select auto draw cladding option. Use floor options and select OK. Now select all the shells. Before selecting, go to all stories option and select all the shells. You must select only shells. And go to assign, select shell loads and click on wind pressure coefficient. Give coefficient value as 0.8. Windward side and apply. Click on OK. as this coefficient values you can get from the code book also. So now go to elevation section B, click on OK, and now you have to select all the shells. Click on assign shell loads, go to assign, click on shell loads, and go to wind pressure coefficient. Give coefficient value as 0.8 windward side and click on apply. And click on OK. Now go to elevation section D and click on OK. Select all the shells as you did earlier. Go to assign, select shell loads and select wind pressure coefficient. Now you have to give coefficient value as minus 0.25. You can get those values from codebook and select leewards or sides. Click on apply and OK. And now click on elevation and go to section C. Select all the shells. And do the same. Go to assign, click on shell loads and go to wind pressure coefficient. And load also same. Click on apply and OK. And go to elevation and click select section 1. Click on OK. And select all the shells. And use upward and downward key. Go to section view, elevation view 2 and select all the shells. And use upward key and go to elevation view 3. Upward key. As you give the load value, wind loads, so you can check those wind loads in a story or plan view. So now you have to run analysis. So go to analyze and click on run analysis. You can click it on the shortcut key also. You can see on the left bottom that the analysis is going on. After analysis is completed, you can see the displacement and deformation values on the 3D view tab. You can observe it in the 3D view. So you can use extruded view frame options. So now you can see clearly. Right click on any other joints so you can see the displacement and drift values. And click on display. Go to forces, stresses, beams to view shear, moment and any different components on the building. Right click on any beam. You can observe the equivalent load, shear, moment and all. So now click on OK. Go to design option. Click on concrete frame design and click on view / revise preferences, and you must select the design code as IS456. After clicking on that, go to design option. Click on concrete frame design and select start design check option. As it is a tall building, it may take some time to run design. So now you can observe the reinforcement values by zooming on the 3D tab. Now go to concrete frame design and click on view all members verified. So click on OK. Now you have to see the report of your model. So now click on summary report. Double click on summary report. You can see different tables in this as table loads and all. Thank you.